6 years of marriage, and the day I got humiliated in a boardroom was the day I realized something terrifying.
The stemware chimed as Serena filled her glass again with Chateau Margaux, the ruby wine swirling lazuli. Our Upper East Side penthouse glowed under designer lights, casting warm reflections across polished marble. From 27 floors up, Manhattan shimmered like a jewel of you she loved more than anything else in our marriage. I watched her diamond ring catch the light, throwing fractured prisms across the sofa. I used to think that rings symbolized love. Now, it felt more like a handcuff. "You're rather quiet tonight, Marcus," Serena said, not looking away from the city below. "Still moping about the Harper deal? Honestly, I thought you'd moved past it by now." I hadn't. 2 weeks earlier, in a boardroom packed with executives, I brought in a major investor, someone who genuinely believed in my new venture. And Serena, my wife of 6 years, mocked him and mocked me in front of everyone. Another one of Marcus's charity cases, she'd laughed. The investor walked. The deal evaporated. So did my pride. "That's not what I'm thinking about," I said, keeping my tone steady. "I've been reevaluating our marriage, what it's become." She finally turned, amusement dancing in her ice blue eyes. "Oh dear, someone's feeling philosophical. Be careful, love, deep thinking has never been your strength." Her $11,000 designer dress shimmered as she shifted, crossing her legs elegantly. Another purchase on my card. Another reminder she controlled everything. "Remember last time you tried to think outside your lane?" she said. She meant my proposal for a transparent financial platform to help families build savings without predatory fees. She had laughed at it at a dinner party, then snatched the idea, repackaged it, and handed it to her father, who patented it under the Stenton name. That was the first betrayal, but tonight would be the last. "I want a divorce." The air stilled. Her smile faltered, then shifted into something predatory. "A divorce?" She placed her wine glass on the table with theatrical delicacy. "How precious. And what exactly do you think you'll do afterward? You have no real network outside my family. Without our support, your talents will hardly carry you." I had anticipated every word. "I'll survive," I said calmly, "on my own terms." Serena laughed, a cold sound that bounced off the marble walls. "Survive? Marcus, you're barely functional without me. Who introduced you to your first real clients? Who secured your VP role? Who prevents you from embarrassing yourself socially? You can't even brew coffee without calling housekeeping." She leaned in, her perfume drifting around me like an expensive fog. "You're nothing but a finance graduate from a town no one has heard of. Without the Stenton name attached, you disappear." I stood, walked to the entry table, and emptied my pockets. First, her family's black Amex card, then the keys to the Mercedes she always insisted was her gift. Finally, the luxury watch she bragged about buying for me. "I don't need these anymore." Something flickered behind her eyes, disbelief, maybe fear. "Don't be ridiculous," she snapped. "Where will you go? Back to your parents' bankrupt shop?" "Oh wait. The recession took that from them, didn't it?" Her cruelty sliced deeper than she knew. I nodded slowly. "Goodbye, Serena." "You won't last a month," she screamed as I picked up the small bag I'd packed weeks in advance. "You'll be begging me to take you back." But her voice faded behind me as the elevator doors slid shut. For the first time in years, I could breathe. My new Brooklyn studio apartment was a far cry from the penthouse. 75-year-old hardwood floors, exposed brick, a kitchenette the size of a closet, street noise instead of peaceful, curated silence. But it was mine, every single inch of it. For weeks, I worked from a small cafe in Soho, refining the idea Serena had stolen a platform offering transparent, ethical investment options to middle-class families. Something real, something meaningful. One rainy afternoon, as I sipped cheap coffee and coded on my laptop, A woman approached my table. Mid-50s, sharp eyes, practical clothing. A familiar face, though I couldn't place her instantly. "Marcus Reed," she asked. I tensed. Had Serena tracked me down already? "I'm Dana Mercer," she said. "Your wife's executive assistant." Well, former assistant. That explained it. Dana had always moved silently through Stanton events, managing Serena's impossible schedule with robotic precision. "I hope I'm not intruding," she said, "but I need to speak with you." She sat when I nodded cautiously. I was fired when I questioned the accounting records of the Stanton Foundation, the family's so-called philanthropic arm. Dana leaned in. "Marcus, I discovered discrepancies. Huge ones. Millions allocated for community centers that were never built. Funds funneled into private accounts. Market manipulation disguised as charity work." My pulse jumped. I had suspected corruption for years, but never had proof. "I have everything documented," she whispered. 6 years worth of emails. Transfers, photos, ledgers. And I know the Stentons had the power to bury it all. They already tried, including attempting to frame me for embezzlement. She opened her bag and slid a USB drive across the table. "This can destroy them, but I need someone with integrity to take it to the right hands." I stared at the small device, a grenade disguised as storage. "And what do you want in return?" "Employment," she said simply. "A fresh start. Your platform could become something extraordinary, and I can help." I extended my hand. "Welcome to Iron Spring Analytics." For 6 months, Dana and I worked like soldiers on a mission. Out of my apartment at first, then a tiny office, then a modest team. We uncovered how the foundation manipulated markets, taking short positions on companies, orchestrating negative press, then profiting from the fallout. We counter-traded them successfully, quietly funding our expansion. When the Stentons launched their own platform, stolen from my original concept, we hit back with transparency. We audited their operations publicly, exposing hidden fees and revealing conflicts of interest. The media loved it. Investors trusted us. And the Stentons panicked. They sued us for $50 million, a transparent attempt to crush us under legal costs. We were in the middle of a strategy session when the news broke. Serena herself, in a custom-tailored suit, announced the lawsuit on a major financial network. Her face a mask of manufactured concern. "We simply cannot allow rogue operators like Iron Spring Analytics to mislead hardworking investors," she declared, her voice dripping with fake sincerity. Dana just looked at me and smiled. "It's time," she said. "We released the contents of the USB drive to every major news outlet and the SEC. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic for the Stentons. The headlines were brutal. Stanton Foundation, a billion-dollar fraud scheme. Charity or criminal enterprise, her father's empire crumbled. He was arrested. Serena's assets were frozen. The lawsuit against us was dropped. The penthouse, the designer clothes, the Chateau Margaux all gone. Months later, I saw her by chance. She was coming out of a law office, looking haggard. The designer clothes were replaced by something off the rack. She saw me, and for a moment, her eyes burned with the old hatred. Then, it was replaced by something else, desperation. She didn't say a word. She just turned and hurried away, swallowed by the crowd. Today, Iron Spring Analytics is a leader in ethical finance, managing billions for families who were once overlooked. Dana is my coup, the smartest person I know. We built this not on greed, but on integrity. My life isn't about penthouses or diamond rings anymore. It's about building something that matters on my own terms. And that view is better than any city skyline. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. We'll see you in the next one.